Lily, what time is it?
Game.
It's game.
Yeah.
What time is it? Game time. 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 What time? Game time.
It's probably one of the best rivalries in the country, man.
If you went to Arthur Hill, you was the enemy.
It's a rough city. We have some fights during games. You have to stop the game.
For up 20, 30, 40, there was no mercy. Pummel Arthur Hill.
Honestly, screw those guys.
There's only one high school in Saginaw, and that's Saginaw High.
You want to beat the high. You want to destroy the high, actually.
Hello, Jason Richardson.
You want to tear their head off, they want to tear our head off.
Once you see blood, it's over.
And when they actually won the game, I went outside and threw up. You cut me right now, it's black and gold. I would die a Trojan.
It is the best rivalry there is.
Ever. Ever.
State Champs, Rivals, The High versus the Hill is brought to you by Lawrence Technological University, John E. Green Company, family owned and operated since 1909 and committed to safety, quality, integrity, and service. Please contact us with your commercial plumbing, HVAC, and fire suppression needs at johnegreen.com.
In 1889, the cities of East Saginaw and Saginaw City consolidated to create what is now known as the City of Saginaw. And while the population came together, the city's high schools and sports allegiances did anything but. Then known as East and West Side High, the now Saginaw High and Arthur Hill have been bitter enemies, especially on the basketball court, where they've been going at it since 1903.
Communities talking crap, both high schools talking crap to each other. Parents, grandparents talking smack to one another.
Like you said, screw them. We going at their neck. It's a judgment and a statement game, like who can play in the city.
I kind of disliked those guys, you know what I'm saying, before I even played, you know what I'm saying, before I had even got in the mix, you know what I'm saying. I had already developed it, you know what I'm saying, that semi-hatred of Saginaw High, like basketball, you know what I'm saying. I don't know why or where it came from, but you know what I'm saying, I feel like it was just natural.
It was just pure bragging rights. You know, everybody talked about it in the streets, everybody talked about it at the barbershops, the salons. What you did against Saginaw High, you could have had a terrible year or not a good year, whatever, but you played against Saginaw High and you put up, 30 points, you were somebody in Saginaw.
And over the past 120 years, this rivalry has produced a lot of somebodies, and not just in Saginaw, but across the basketball world. Players like three-time NBA champion and Defensive Player of the Year Draymond Green, Jason Richardson, who won a national championship at Michigan State and 2 straight NBA slam dunk titles, and Darvin Ham, who rocked the rims at the High before shattering the glass in the NCAA tournament, then going on to win NBA crowns as both a player and a coach. Those are just a few of the many NBA players, along with NFL Pro Bowlers who have played in this rivalry, along with the countless high major Division I ballers that have come from the two schools.
The talent on that court was overwhelming. It was like you would go to a college game on Saturday and go, yeah. I saw Saginaw Arthur Hill last night. You guys are good, but
We leave an impression on people. A bunch of us playing AU basketball, and we played Glenn Robinson and them, and they asked us where we from. We said Saginaw. They was like, really, y'all all from one town?
When I tell coaches here how much talent that existed, they look at me in disbelief.
Draymond Green.
Until they Google us winning state titles.
Saginaw High has won 6 Class A state championships through the years and finished state runner-up 4 times, while Arthur Hill has won a pair of Class A titles and placed second 6 times. And those numbers would most likely be a whole lot higher if they didn't have to face each other in the district playoffs, sometimes the opening round after 2 meetings during the regular season.
In high versus the hill, you know, always 3 rounds. Round 1, round 2, and then the playoffs, you know, round 3. And whoever wins that, you know, always expected to get to that state championship.
If they come with the victory, I know I got to wait a whole nother year to get my revenge, and vice versa. You know, you can walk around with your chest out, you know, if you get that victory. But if you don't, you're going to walk around with your head down.
Give you goosebumps thinking about it, because everybody was into it, all over town. And it was that game. It was that game. It meant everything.
And that game began to have state title implications in the 40s when a new coach came to the High.
I'm going to say when Mr. Larry Lady came to Saginaw and changed the brand of ball, the style of ball, made it a more up-tempo, fast pace of basketball.
And in 1942, Saginaw High won the Class A state title. In 1943, Arthur Hill was 16-1. They had a 1-point overtime loss to Muskegon. And they were considered to be the best team in the state, but they didn't have a state tournament because of the war. And then in 1944, they went 19-0, won the state championship. In 1945, they got to the state semifinal game and were beaten by 2 points.
The Jacks were the state runner-up again in 1949 and 52. But from there, the Trojans began to take over. The High won its second Class A crown in 1962, led by Ernie Thompson, who set a record with 42 points in the state title game in the win over Benton Harbor. Paced by legends like Tony Smith, the High began to dominate the rivalry, winning 21 consecutive district meetings from 1967 to 97.
No, we never lost to Arthur Hill in basketball. We just wanted to beat them. We knew in our mind that if they up 20 with 2 minutes left, we would come back and beat them at any time.
Saginaw's run reached its peak in 1996 when the Trojans beat Southfield Lathrop 67-60 to win its first and only championship under legendary head coach Marshall Thomas.
It's a dream come true. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, this was the High first championship in 34 years. We just came out. We was down by 10 at the half. We said the game wasn't over with because we was down like 19 yesterday. We just kept fighting, kept fighting.
The High continued to be a powerhouse, but the Lumberjacks began to turn the corner after the Saginaw School District went to open enrollment, meaning Saginaw High students could now attend Arthur Hill.
It was a thing back in the day, like maybe if you went to Arthur Hill, you was a little bit softer or something like that.
On the side of the bridge, we came up, we feel like, you know, the hunger and the greed and have to get it the hard way was different.
Future NBA draft pick DeAndre Hewlett made the move across the bridge as a sophomore in 1995. Then the following year, an unknown JV player from Nouvelle showed up in Lumberjack land for an open gym.
And all of a sudden, this kid gets a breakaway and he takes off and does a 360 dunk. And I go, wait a minute here. What's going on here? And I'm going, hey, that's Jason Richardson. Oh, he's transferred on from Nouvelle. Whoa, okay.
I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we'll take him.
So I come home that night and I go, Linda, my wife, Linda, I say, Linda, I've got Michael Jordan on my team. And she goes, what? I said, I've got Michael Jordan on my team.
And with his airness flying over Mackinac Street, Arthur Hill became a player in the state. And just like that, the rivalry was back and bigger than ever. The Hillites were showtime, just like their foes across the river. The hype on both sides was electric. Their matchups became the hottest ticket in town and created possibly the greatest high school atmosphere in the country.
Nothing compared to going to a Saginaw High Arthur Hill game at those high schools. I mean, people literally just on the floor.
You broke windows trying to get into that gym. Probably could have sold out the Palace.
Kids used to be trying to scalp these tickets.
Hey, Rick, what's the highest price you heard tickets going for tonight?
Well, Mike, we heard about $50.
Can I get like 4? I'll give you 3.
3?
You got $40, I'll get you another.
Everybody getting their hair done, getting their nails done, people buying new outfits. It was just, you know, it was special. It was like, you know, a concert.
The crowd, oh man, is off the charts. You know, you ain't gonna be able to hear nothing. You know, I be yelling at the kids and they don't hear me because of the crowd.
The city was in such a frenzy that the 1999 number 2 versus number 3 matchup had to be moved to the 6,000-seat Saginaw Civic Center. Charles Rogers, Eugene Seals, and the freshman Anthony Roberson picked up the win, but it was Richardson who literally shut the game down with what many call the greatest play in the history of the rivalry.
Charles Rogers on the floor. He gets a long rebound, goes coast to coast and scores. Tyrone McMath jumps out of bounds, takes 2 dribbles and just launches it up to the rim. And I'm going, no, what's going on here?
He just threw the ball up, and I'm like, what is he doing?
At least a half court. Sometimes people say 3/4 court.
And I'm seeing it going towards the rim, and you can see me kick in another gear to get to the ball.
And Tyrone puts it right on a dime, right on the rim.
And everybody's like, whoa.
And Jason Richardson just leaps like 10 feet in the air, catches it, throws it down 2 hands.
It was the longest alley-oop I've ever seen.
And now it's
There it was, right there.
The crowd went absolutely crazy.
It went down, and like they literally had to stop the game because people was on the floor, out of their stands. It was crazy.
The whole crowd stood up. See, if they'd looked at the bench, I did too. I stood up too. Because I mean, it was just something that you just didn't see every day.
And the Lumberjacks had a reason to go crazy in 1998. Arthur Hill snapped its 21-game playoff losing streak to the high, beating the Trojans in the district semifinals 83-71. The Jacks then went on to beat Flushing to win their first district title in 32 years.
First district championship in 32 years, and you've done it. You've just tied the school record for wins. 20 wins is the most wins they've ever had at the school for 100 years. For 100 years. Now we get to go past that. I'm so proud of what you guys have done, but I'm not satisfied. I'm still hungry. Anybody else hungry? Hey, I'm hungry.
And the Jacks would nearly eat the entire buffet the following year. Although they would fall short to Ann Arbor Pioneer, Richardson became the city's first and only Mr. Basketball winner, leading Arthur Hill all the way to the state championship game for the first time since 1952. From that point on, both programs were considered among the state's elite, but neither could reach the mountaintop until 2006. After eliminating the High in the district with a putback in the final seconds, Arthur Hill marched to the Breslin and beat Okemos in double OT 85-84 to win its first state title since 1944. The Lumberjacks were led by the explosive All-State junior Dar Tucker, who scored 26, including the go-ahead bucket with 4 seconds to play.
It mean a lot, you know. We just made history, so that's good.
To win that title with the kids that I had brought up and with my son, well, both of my sons was on the team, that made it even more special. You know, it was just huge for my family, the school, the community, you know, so we all loved it and we cherished it.
Well, at least half the Saginaw community.
I was praying to God that Arthur Hill lost the state title. I was sitting in the barbershop with my sons doing the state title. And when they actually won the game, I went outside and threw up. That's how strong that rivalry was.
What do you think about that?
I'm happy he threw up. I wanted him to throw up 3 more times.
The night we lost in 06, me and my son Dorian was sitting at the top of my stairs at my house. And I'm crying like a little baby. Dorian hit me on my shoulder, tapped me on my shoulder. I think he may have been in the 4th grade. And he looked at me, he said, "Dad, we're not losing another damn game." It's a true story, man. And I looked at him and I said, "You're right."
And for the next 2 years, he was. Saginaw High went on an unprecedented run. It began in the district final. The defending champs from the Hill were ranked number 1 in the state. The High was number 2. And the Trojans came out hotter than fish grease. They scored the first 20 points of the game. Yes, a 20-0 run from the jump. Mike Green hit 6 first-half threes, and they never looked back. Saginaw shocked the defending champs then cruised through the rest of the tournament, winning by an average of 22 points per game as Draymond and the High knocked off Manny Harris in Detroit Redford to win the state championship.
You know, I've been dreaming this since a child. I played AAU with Coach Dawkins. He told us we would win the state championship when we get to Saginaw High. We got here and we did it. I always knew we had the talent in Saginaw to do it. Arthur Hill won it last year. We coming this year, and we coming back again next year.
And like Dorian Dawkins the year before, the Prophet Day was correct.
It means a lot, you know, just to be able to make it this far. We come this far with the purpose. That's to go back home with the championship.
After a 26-1 season, the Trojans finished 2008 27-1, ranked 4th in the nation by USA Today. The High clobbered Detroit Pershing 90-71 to become the first Saginaw team to win back-to-back state championships, and they made it 3 straight for the city overall.
I coached, and I coached against some of the best talent in 7 years that a man that has coached, man or woman that has coached for probably 30 years would never ever see. It was amazing for me and Coach McMahon to witness that.
Julian Taylor took over as Saginaw's head coach in 2011, and they didn't skip a beat, winning the state title in his first year. Arthur Hill has continued its success as well, making the title game in 2015, led by the Class A Player of the Year Eric Davis and current Indiana Pacer Brian Bowen Jr. But the Hill and the High's legendary run will soon come to an end. In the mid-'80s, Saginaw High had over 1,800 students, with Arthur Hill nearing 2,400. They now have an enrollment of around 1,200 students combined. The loss of students has led to a massive financial hit to the district, so Saginaw High and Arthur Hill will finally do like Saginaw City and East Saginaw and merge at the start of the 2023-24 school year, thus ending the greatest basketball rivalry in the state of Michigan.
Overall, you're just going to lose. Oh, man. Wow.
Something that's going to be missed. It's going to be missed tremendously. And it's just unfortunate, but, you know what I'm saying, we just got to try to cherish the memories, keep the memories alive, you know what I'm saying? So this kind of how it brought the whole city together. Even though the gym was split in half, it still brought the city together because everybody would come to the games and, you know, see the best talent we had playing basketball in the city.
I don't like to look at it as a loss. We're just moving to the next stage. We're moving to the next stage because this is just inevitable. Nothing stays the same forever. We want to take in and enjoy what we did have, but we also want to get ready to enjoy what we're going to have.
The reason why I'm excited because Saginaw can bring the whole talent instead of like separating the schools and different people and stuff. So I just wanted everybody to play together, be brothers instead of being rivals. Nothing but state champions. It just, I can see it right now.
Bring anybody on. The Pistons, no, I'm just kidding, but hey, bring whoever, whatever, bring them on. We'll be ready for them.
And even though the rivalry will soon be history, the men who took part will never forget how it molded them for the future.
It made me mentally strong. Man, it taught me how to compete at all levels in the corporate world.
And them games really, really build your competitive spirit, man. I mean, that's something that I think I had coming up that helped me a lot. And I don't know if I would have had it coming up in another environment or a different place. The players pushed each other. We loved each other. We played for each other. It was huge, man. And it was huge. And we all wanted to see each other succeed. It was a family.
I got to do things that I love to do. I got to teach. I love teaching. I love working with young people. I love the energy. And I love to coach. And I love to be in the big game, be in the big moments, and do special things. And, you know, it's emotional to me because I got to do all of that, and I'm just grateful. I'm just really grateful. Yeah.
State Champs, Rivals, The High versus the Hill is brought to you by Lawrence Technological University. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships available in all sports. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. John E. Green Company, family owned and operated since 1909 and committed to safety, quality, integrity, and service. Please contact us with your commercial plumbing, HVAC, and fire suppression needs at johnegreen.com.